Have you ever wondered what makes plants so unique and resilient? How do they adapt to different environments? Let's dive into the fascinating world of flowering plants and uncover the intricate anatomy that allows them to thrive. Plant anatomy examines the internal structures of plants, revealing both similarities and differences between species. These structures demonstrate adaptations to diverse environments. Cells are the fundamental building blocks of plant structure. Tissues are groups of specialized cells performing specific functions. Organs are complex structures composed of multiple tissue types. All of these elements make up a system that is essential for a plant's function, ultimately forming an organism. Now, let's explore the tissue systems in plants. Plant tissues vary in cell types and location, influencing structure and function. Plants have three primary tissue systems that work together to support life processes. Epidermal tissue system forms the protective outer covering of the entire plant body, example epidermis. Ground or fundamental tissue system comprises the bulk of the plant body, supporting various functions, example cortex, pith. Vascular or conducting tissue system specialized for transport of water, minerals, and food throughout the plant, example xylem, phloem. Starting with the epidermal tissue system, it forms the outer covering of the plant body. It consists of epidermal cells, stomata, and appendages like trichomes and hairs. This single layer has tightly packed cells with minimal cytoplasm and large vacuoles. A waxy cuticle covers the epidermis to prevent water loss, except in roots. Stomata in leaves regulate transpiration and gas exchange through specialized guard cells that control the opening and contain chloroplasts. The stomatal structure has guard cells surrounding the stomatal pore, sometimes with subsidiary cells nearby. This apparatus is essential for gas exchange. Trichomes are multicellular hairs on stems that may be branched or unbranched, helping to prevent water loss. Root hairs are unicellular extensions of epidermal cells that increase surface area for water and mineral absorption. Now, let's move on to the ground tissue system. Ground tissue forms the plant body's bulk, excluding epidermis and vascular tissue. It includes parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma, each with distinct functions. Parenchyma: living cells with thin primary walls and large vacuoles, functioning in photosynthesis, storage, and secretion. Collenchyma tissue is made up of living cells with unevenly thickened primary walls, providing flexible mechanical support to growing organs. Sclerenchyma tissue include cells with thick, lignified secondary walls providing strength and rigidity, typically dead at maturity. Next, we have the vascular tissue system. Vascular tissue transports water, minerals, and nutrients through the plant. Xylem moves water and solutes upward, while phloem transports organic compounds produced by photosynthesis. There are open vascular bundles found in dicots with cambium between xylem and phloem, enabling secondary growth. In contrast, closed vascular bundles found in monocots lack cambium, preventing secondary growth. The arrangement patterns are radial in roots and conjoint in stems and leaves, with phloem typically outside xylem. If we examine the anatomy of dicots and monocots, we see that examining transverse sections of mature zones in roots, stems, and leaves reveals distinct tissue arrangements. Each organ's tissue organization supports its primary function: roots for anchorage and absorption, stems for support and transport, and leaves for photosynthesis. Dicotyledonous plants feature reticulate venation, vascular bundles in rings, and limited xylem bundles. Examples include sunflower, oak, rose, and bean. Meanwhile, monocotyledonous plants show parallel venation, scattered vascular bundles, and numerous xylem bundles such as corn, rice, lilies, and palms. Looking closely at a dicotyledonous root, a sunflower root's cross-section shows specialized tissue organization. The outer epibilma layer has root hairs that maximize absorption surface area. The middle cortex contains parenchyma cells with spaces for gas exchange. The endodermis forms a selective barrier with water-regulating Casparian strips. The pericycle initiates lateral root formation. The central stele contains alternating xylem and phloem bundles arranged in a radial pattern with minimal or no pith at the center. Conversely, monocote roots share basic structural elements with dicot roots but exhibit distinct anatomical differences that affect their development and function. Key distinctions include a polyak arrangement, more than 6 xylem bundles, a prominent central pith, and the absence of secondary growth capability, which prevents diameter expansion over time. Now, let's discuss the dicotyledonous stem. A transverse section of a young dicot stem shows a protective outer epidermis with trichomes, stomata, and a thin cuticle. Below lies the cortex with 3 zones, a collenchymatous hypodermis for strength, a parenchymatous middle cortex, and a start-storing endodermis. The inner pericycle contains sclerenchyma patches above the phloem. Vascular bundles form a distinctive ring pattern, each being conjoint, open, and indulge. Parenchymatous medullary rays separate the bundles, while the central pith consists of rounded parenchyma cells with intercellular spaces. On the other hand, monocotyledonous stems have a distinct structure with a sclerenchymatous hypodermis beneath the epidermis for support. Unlike dicote's ring arrangement, monocote vascular bundles scatter throughout the ground tissue. Each vascular bundle is conjoined, closed, and surrounded by a sclerenchymatous bundle sheath, lacking cambium for secondary growth. Peripheral bundles are smaller than central ones. The phloem contains no parenchyma, and water cavities often form within bundles. Parenchymatous ground tissue fills spaces between the scattered vascular bundles. Finally, let's explore the leaves. A dorsiventral leaf cross-section reveals 3 components: epidermis, mesophyll, and vascular system. Both upper, adaxial, and lower, abaxial, surfaces have protective cuticles, with more stomata on the abaxial surface for gas exchange. The mesophyll contains chloroplasts for photosynthesis and divides into 2 regions: upper palisade parenchyma with vertical elongated cells, and lower spongy parenchyma with loosely arranged cells and air spaces. Vascular bundles run through leaf veins, each enclosed by bundle sheath cells. In contrast, isobilateral monocote leaves differ from dorsiventral dicot leaves in key ways. Stomata appear on both surfaces for efficient gas exchange, and the mesophyll forms uniform photosynthetic tissue rather than distinct layers. Grass leaves feature specialized bulliform cells along the adaxial epidermis veins that regulate leaf rolling during water stress, remaining flat when turgid and curling when flaccid to reduce water loss. Parallel venation creates similarly sized vascular bundles throughout, except in main veins. In summary, we've taken a deep dive into the anatomy of flowering plants, covering the essential tissues and their functions. Understanding these structures helps us appreciate the incredible adaptations plants have developed to survive in various environments. From roots to leaves, each part plays a vital role in the life of a plant. We hope that you have understood the topic. You can now study chapter notes, watch video lectures and solve MCQ tests of this chapter on EduRev to ensure you score well in your exams. And that's not all. You also get amazing courses for maths, science, English, Hindi, and much more for NEET. Thank you.